Hello, I'm Anawiltos, and welcome to another Zero AD replay. I think I'm going to start this as a sort of second season. Now, before I continue, if you frequently watch my gaming videos and my other gaming series, let me just pause for a minute before we start. It also allows me to catch up on the frames per second. Let me just say a couple things here. I've decided that in the absence of a fair gaming schedule as to which games I'm going to play, I'm going to install a sort of rotational schedule where you don't have certain games scheduled for certain days, but rather you have a rotation of games. For example, today we're going to do Zero AD. The next game is going to be GeoGuessr. Then the next day that I put out a gaming video, it's going to be Stronghold Crusader. The next day, it's going to be Free Civilization, or Free Civ to be more exact, and then Civilization Free, and then it loops back to Zero AD. Now, for those of you who are wondering, well, what about other videos? Other videos are going to come interspersed through there, depending on whether I have time or whether I am busy doing something. But overall, the gaming videos are going to be coming out in that order, and it's going to go over that until one of the series ends, in which case things can be different. However, I just want to let you know that if I have a significant group in the comments that really want me to play one game, and I'm not seeing the same kind of support from other games, I might double up in the rotation on that one game, so that instead of 1 every 5, we get maybe 2 every 6, and spread out in between that, just to increase the number of, let's say, Zero AD if it's really popular in the rotation. Instead of doing a 5 rotation going 1 1 1 1 1, we can do a 6 rotation with Zero AD, 2 other games, then Zero AD, then 2 other games, and of course special videos and videos where I'm experimenting with a new game or a different game are going to come out throughout, so you don't have to really worry about me stopping to make those videos. I just wanted to get this message out there before we really began. But before we continue, let's actually take a look at how things are. We've got Hannibal Barca, Alexis Free, Borg, Rajor, Luzbel, Physic, Nigel 87, and the objectives are regicide. So of course we have to kill the opponent's hero to win. What am I saying? We have to. The players have to. I'm just describing what happened. Okay, and the teams are locked. Allied victory, ceasefire. But I don't think there are any teams really, so by that it means that nothing can really change. I think it's a free-for-all. And let's get right into the news. Okay. So nobody starts with a civic center, and they are getting right into the news.
DSD?
We've got Antiochus the Great here by Rajor. I don't think we've had Rajor before, but it looks like we're seeing some early fighting over here with Nigel 87 resigned and is now harassing Rajor. Oh, that's gotta be bad. Borg is already building. Rajor is building right next to Borg. That's not going to be a very happy situation. Luzbel, or is it Izubel? I think that's a lowercase L. Yeah, Luzbel is building on a hill here. And of course, this elephant is really going to contribute to construction. And of course, Alexis Free is building in this area as well. Oh my goodness. That's gotta hurt. Did Hannibal Barca Hannibal Barca is over here. Okay. So everyone's building. However, this area is going to get pretty crowded and pretty dangerous pretty fast. Very pretty, of course. Here we see this Gaia hero cavalry swordsman just go around doing a lot of damage. Oh. And Alexis Free has been defeated. Rajor is building a civic center. Wow, this game is moving pretty fast. With all these Gaia troops, holy cannoli, they are really making a mess of things. Look at that, Luzbel isn't really able to do too much about this. And the civic center is unfinished. Oh, that's gotta hurt.
EST?
We see here Rajor. Oh, Luzbel has been defeated. And Hannibal Barca is probably defeated as well, I'm guessing. Because I don't see Hannibal Barca's units anywhere. And here it is. It's a pretty close match here. We'll see how that works out. Oh no. Oh. Oh no. Okay. Something weird happened. Okay. Okay. Borg is building a farmstead and has a sentry tower. Rajor seems to be disadvantaged in this situation. Okay. But both players have to watch out for these Gaia units that are hanging around various places. What does Hannibal Barca even have? I can't even tell. Oh. Oh, I see. Oh, I see how it is. Okay. Hannibal Barca might be able to bring it back. However, I don't really think that's going to happen. Not too much damage is being done, and the civic center is just going lower and lower. Is Hannibal Barca just going to abandon? I don't know, but pretty soon they might start fighting. Uh-oh! Oh no! Oh, that's gotta hurt. Yep. Hannibal Barca has been defeated. And now open conflict can begin, with the sentry tower being attacked and a farmstead being built farther away, probably to facilitate good food production. Borg is, of course, industrious as always. Borg training a lot of women here, and getting them to gather resources in a reasonably safe location. In fact, I think this area is pretty safe. There's very few places for the Gaia to cross. And this area is reasonably well defended. There aren't many military units, but what does exist, however, is definitely going to be a limiting factor on how far Rajor can expand. But I think what we saw that happened is one of the players quit out early on, and that caused a sort of cascade effect, where in the rules they had decided not to attack each other early on. However, that wasn't the same for the Gaia, so the Gaia started aggroing on all the various units everyone had, and that led to sort of cascade effect with a lot of units being killed by these really powerful hero units. Look at that, 1,000 health. That's you can't really deal with that early on. You don't have the damage dealing ability to really do a lot about that. And so what we saw was a cascade reaction where one player after the other would get overwhelmed by the Gaia units, and that would cause a lot of quitting. And here we see Rajor counter-attacking to some extent.
TSD.
Of course,
ESD?
I generally don't see players building a lot of these palisades, although right here would probably be the perfect location for one, simply because it on this map it's really easy to cut off things. Oh no!
ESD?
Oh, luckily that's not a hero unit, but if it were, that could have been a pretty dangerous situation. Yeah, they should probably retreat before they encounter any more dangerous units. Let's see how Borg is doing. Getting more women. Let's actually take a look here. And it does seem that Borg has some degree of advantage over Rajor. Yep. However, Rajor has gathered significant amounts of food. And of course, that all really comes from up here. Something that Borg hasn't really done too much. However, the question is, to what effect will this be early on? Okay, so Borg is sending this hero swordsman all the way up north. Is this a flanking attempt, perhaps? But Rajor isn't missing a trick. That's right. There's some scouting here. Of course, Rajor's hero unit, Antiochus the Great, is more heavily damaged, which means that if Borg initiates an offensive and decides to 1v1 Antiochus with Brenos, Borg does have some degree of an advantage here. But we are seeing Rajor is already building some additional defenses. Meanwhile, Borg is perhaps trying to look for resources in a different location. Perhaps this will eventually morph into a flanking maneuver. Of course, are you really going to flank when your civic centers are that close to each other? I don't really think that's the best of ideas. However, we are seeing some food being gathered here by this fishing vessel. The question is, how efficient is that going to be?
ESD?
Of course, it looks like Rajor is going to have some trouble with all these troops. Rajor is, however, getting some more troops at this point. We are seeing a farmstead. We haven't seen any barracks go up yet, but it is only a matter of time until that possibility arises. Uh-oh! This is not a fun time. We have a Gaia hero coming out, dealing a lot of damage, and Borg isn't going to be able to get rid of these guys pretty easily. Of course, we've got this one, but it's not the toughest one here. Here we see another sentry tower being built by Rajor. Rajor really is playing a bit defensive with all these towers, but also offensive with some raids coming back and forth. Is Rajor trying to kite kite the heroes toward Borg? Because if Rajor is trying to do that, I don't think it's working. But of course, that may not be the plan. But of course, this situation is probably very uncomfortable. And now, the question is, who is being targeted here? It looks like they're Borg is targeting Rajor soldiers. If that is the case, that is definitely the wise move to make here. Really using... I see what Rajor is doing here. Rajor is kiting the Gaia hero into Borg's territory to perhaps try to force Borg to deal with him. However, at this point, the hero isn't very powerful. Uh-oh. We are seeing some conflict here with with some of Rajor's women moving into this area, which is crawling with Borg's units. And now, of course, Borg is going behind the lines, killing Rajor's women. Hopefully, for Borg, I suppose Borg's hope would be that this goes as unnoticed as possible. However, this does not seem to be the case here, as all the women are suddenly gathering together at the Civic Center. However, we are seeing 3 center towers now by Rajor, and no additional defensive buildings by Borg. Take that however you may, but now with the women out of the fields, but actually now building new fields for some time. Ooh, what is Alexis Frigg doing? Oh ho ho! What's going on here? I don't know.
TSD.
I do not know what is going on there, but we are seeing Rajor definitely being at a disadvantage when it comes to some resource gathering capability. However, Rajor does have more fields that are being worked, and has this wonderful source of rock right here that is being mined. Although, to be honest, Borg has the same over here. However, overall on the map, Rajor is definitely at a disadvantage when it comes to map control, because even though this whole area technically isn't controlled by Borg, it practically is. As we see with all these units and buildings over here, facilitating in resource gathering, and in perhaps doing some raids on Rajor from the north. Well, the question is, what are the defeated players up to with moving all these units for out here? I don't actually know. I do not know. But I presume that we are going to find out pretty soon. But the question is, who's going to win? Uh-oh. A warship. It could all be over. Let's see. We're not seeing any additional ships being produced. Ship is garrisoned. Oh, it's a little bit too close to the coast.
DST?
However, it does look like Rajor's entire army might be in severe danger. Right here. And of course, we are seeing Rajor retreat due to this heavy onslaught. And it looks like this warship definitely has an advantage over the defense tower in both offensive and defensive capabilities. And now Rajor has resigned. Borg is victorious. Let's take a look at the end screen. Okay, here we have Borg doing a bit better economically and militarily. However, not exploring as much as Rajor. Total score, slightly higher for Borg. It wasn't actually too high. Buildings, Borg built more buildings, houses, economic buildings, military buildings, and civic centers. And units trained, Borg had a few more units trained than Rajor, but not too many. Resource-wise, Borg definitely gathered more food overall in the end, and also wood. However, Rajor did get more stone, but Borg definitely overall gathered more resources and spent more resources as well. Looks like physics sent some resources to Luzbel, however, that didn't seem to pan out in the end. And overall, vegetarian ratio, Borg was definitely getting a lot more meat than Rajor was, and also a higher proportion of women were employed by Borg. The KD ratio, Borg definitely did a lot more damage, heavily damaging Rajor's economy, and at the end with a boat attacking Rajor, that really put the nail in the coffin there. And map control, Borg had more map control, but it wasn't significantly more. However, in a practical sense, Borg definitely controlled more of the map. So that was it. Please tell me what you thought, and if you have any specific game that you'd like me to look at, then please tell me in the comments below where to find it, or give me a link or something. And thank you all for watching, and I will be seeing you all next time on Awiltus over and out.